as a project manager, what do? You start the project. Two processes there: create charter and identify stakeholders. And we'll go in detail on this. And then you plan the project. And then you see that the project is executed, 10 processes there. And you keep checking how everything is going. And then you close the project. If you add all these numbers, these are number of processes, 49.
Okay.
So what do? As a project manager, you initiate, plan, execute, monitor, and control a project and close it. Initiate, what do you mean? We define what are we doing. We go, authorize the project. We plan all the 10 knowledge areas. Then the team is onboarded and they deliver the project. We keep checking, tracking, review, progress, regulate, governance. And then we close once we achieve the goals, the deliverables, and close the project or the phase. Because if a project has many phases, then you close phase 1, then go to phase 2 and phase 3 in a sequential waterfall environment. So what do we do in the initiation? We create the charter. Charter is what are you doing? You define the requirements high level. You define the risk and assumptions, and then you go to the stakeholder and they commit, oh yes, ready. I'm ready to pay $10 million for this. Why? Because this is what our business case is. This is how it is justified. Sit on the table and you talk to the stakeholders. Hey, what do you want? What do you want me to do? What do you want us to deliver in this project? And then who all are going to help us? Who are the stakeholders? We need senior VP from this unit. We need engineering guy. We need the director for this. Who are the key stakeholders? Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Any questions, thoughts, ideas? So you have started the project, right? You created a charter and you have the stakeholders who are involved in this exercise, and it is authorized, and you start planning now. You are the project manager. So you say, all right, I need a plan. The whole plan is called as the project management plan, which includes all other plans, right? What am I going to deliver? Requirements. What is in scope, out of scope? Let me go and collect the requirements from the stakeholder. Then once we collect all the requirements, we will define this is in and this is out. Then for each requirement, you have a WBS. And what is that? Work breakdown structure. It's not what bullshit. It is work breakdown structure. Just kidding. When I speak that, you might get reminded that Sam used to speak the same thing 10 fucking years. That's why I don't like sometimes.
No, they're new.
That also confirms how non-agile humans are. How much victims of habit they are and waterfallish they are. So, but the idea is that, hey, what is work breakdown structure? The tasks and activities that we'll perform to deliver that particular requirement, which is within the scope of our project. Once we know that, right, activities and tasks, we will plan a time based on activities. How can they be done? In what sequence? How much time will it take to get each one done? And then build a schedule. Oh, these 10 activities, this will take 1 month, this will take another one, this one 1 month. So total 6 months, right? That's the timeline. But how much money will it cost? You need a plan. Well, we already know the activities. We just defined the schedule. So let us now calculate how much each work package or work item or task or activity will call and add them all up to create a budget. Right? In the budget, we will add some contingency because we will have some unknowns, risks, right? And there will still be something which we don't know, but will happen, right? We call that beyond contingencies. For that, we need to go to the management and get the approval, and management reserve we keep. So a budget includes a baseline of what you're doing, and then a contingency, which is to deal with risks, and then a management reserve to deal with unknown. We don't know what will happen, but it'll happen. But we need to go to the senior VP and ask for their permission to get the approval for expending extra money. We need to do a good job of quality, right? And we need to plan our resources very well. What are the resources going to do? They are going to work on the activities that we estimated in time management. We're going to figure out how we will communicate with the stakeholders and team members. how we are going to deal with the risks. Let's figure out some risks in the beginning. Let's analyze those risks in terms of numbers, quantitative, qualitatively, our own assessment, and then make a response. What is our risk mitigation strategy to deal with the risk? Let's also figure out what kind of items, components we need, and we need to source them from the outside world, from the vendors. Let's have a plan for procurement. Let's also think about how will we engage the stakeholders, and more specifically the negative stakeholders, because they might create more problems throughout the project, and meet the requirements. Once the planning is done, time comes to start the work. And when you start the work, you see this is where you spend the most money, right? Because the team is building the project brick by brick. And what is the PM doing? He's coordinating, facilitating, managing, helping the team to deliver these solutions. So you direct and manage the work done. Knowledge is created. You manage that knowledge. As a project manager, we manage. You see, a lot of them have manage, right? Project manager. To manage all of the 10 knowledges: quality, resources, communications, risks, procurement, stakeholders. How do you manage the team? Well, you acquire the team, right? You don't want to get the team in the planning stage. You want to acquire the team when you start the work. Then they need help. So you develop them, get them training, you manage them. You see what is the performance of the team. Are we getting the results that we are expecting? You communicate with the team if there's some issue. You communicate with the stakeholders as you go along in the project when you're executing or delivering the work. You made some risk plan in the planning. Now in the execution, you apply those responses, your strategies to mitigate the risks that are happening in the project. You made some plan to procure items for your project. Now you want to conduct that and bring those items on board. The car tires for your Tesla, the windscreen, so that your team can build the new design of the new Tesla that they will release. And they talk to different stakeholders because there are some issues. Should we get the latest tire or a new windscreen? So you manage the expectations of the stakeholders. That is what is happening in execution. The idea is to do it right. You are here, PM, and you're dealing with everything. You're dealing with quality, team, managing them, getting the team, building the team, performance of the team. Stakeholders, what do they expect? Are their expectations being met? Are they happy with the developments of the project? Are we sharing the information, communications about the project status, communicating the progress of the project? Because stakeholder, you came in the beginning and the end. Now they don't know where the project is going, but continuously sharing information with the team, from the management, with the stakeholders from the team as to what is going on, where we are, and dealing with suppliers in real time. That is where you execute the project. And then monitoring is checking the progress, and shifting gears. You see what is going on and then you shift gears, because when you track the project, you review it, you need to orchestrate because you need to achieve the goals. So as a PM, we are monitoring and controlling the work, and we are integrating everything together. If there are any changes required, we're making that. Now we created the deliverable that has to be validated if it really meets the requirements of the stakeholders, something like a UAT, user acceptance testing. And then we want to stay within the defined parameters, control scope, right? It's 108 and I'm still talking. The control is not very good, right? So control scope, control time, control cost, right? So we need to be on track in terms of the triangle. We created the plan. Now when the team does the work, how is the plan achieved? Are we able to achieve the time, the cost, the goal? So that is what we do here. Quality, we said we'll build the best product. Is it high quality? Now control resources doesn't mean control people. It means controlling the hardware, the software, right? The different pieces of the items. Making sure that whatever we agreed is being delivered in terms of the reports, information to the stakeholders, to the team members, back and forth, depending on the need. Making also trying to see that the risks that we planned are being managed well. How is the risk mitigation strategy going? Are the suppliers giving the product that they promised, the components. Is it going good? How is it progressing? So, you're trying to check everything and measure and influence, and you're not just micromanaging, you're managing by exceptions to make sure that anything which goes wrong is kind of fixed. So you're here as a project manager and you're managing the change control board, change control system. You're managing the time, cost, and quality, right? So scope is validation, control, in the sense you're managing the scope. Are we on track? Did we create the right deliverables? In how much time we did that? How much was the budget? $5 million. Did we create a Six Sigma product, ISO 9000 certified, best quality product? Did we communicate well? What risks we handled well? What is going on? Are suppliers delivering? Stakeholders are engaged. So see, from here, you're controlling the whole project. Often in the agile world, they don't like it. Say, oh, you're controlling resources, not a good thing, but that's more like a marketing. You're trying to control the whole project. Control is important, right?
Right.
Controlling time, so important. Controlling life, so important. And then finally, you're done. So you close. You get the project or product accepted. You release the resources. You see what went right, what went wrong. It's a formal completion, acceptance. Not all projects are successful, right? What happens to those projects that are not successful? You still, store the information or artifacts of those projects, even if they're like canceled or aborted, or something else becomes critical. So you document lessons learned, you close the contract with the suppliers, and you close the project. So that's the 10 knowledge areas we talked about: integration, scope, time, cost, quality, resources, communication, risk, procurement, and stakeholders. 10 knowledge areas we manage. This is how the whole 49 processes are spread out. What do you create? You create data on the performance of the work. You share that information with the stakeholders, and you create a report in terms of an artifact and share that with the team as well as the stakeholders. What documents we create? Well, a business case, why we are doing the project. Is it justified? Is it authorized? Is it feasible? Often somebody has a dream, but we cannot achieve that dream. So at that state, the project manager has to block it. Sometimes all the PMs say, no. I will keep my job. Let's see, half the project's failure. Who cares? Right? That's not a good system. What benefit we will get from this? Benefit plan. Charter is authorization of the project. Commitment of money by the sponsor. Project plan is the main baby of the project manager, which has all the 10 plans. How will we go measure success? What will we create which is acceptable as an achievement of the project?